have our guest commentator in the studio with me for the rest of the program, who will offer her perspective on the news and talking points of the day. And the journalist, political affairs commentator, and a Rise News analyst, Dr. Constance Ikokwu, is here. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you. The first time in 2023, so yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And the theme, of course, today on the program was voter education. And two very interesting people, slightly different styles, but nevertheless emphasizing that issue of voter education.
Yes, it is very important because, like the second speaker said, we might just be at the cusp of something great in this country. For the first time in so many years, the young people are fired up. When you quoted the registrants, the new registrants between 2021, June, and July 2022, over 70% aged 18 to 34 registered to vote. And you can see the fire in them. There's a profound message that they are trying to send, that we want to retire the people that have refused to relinquish power to us. They really are looking forward to taking the, grabbing the commanding heights of power in this country. And I think they should do so, because generally Nigeria is a population of over 200 million people. Over 40% are under 19 years of age. A lot of them have demonstrated capacity, but do not have the opportunity to participate and engage, and they should be given the chance to do so. And I want to take you back years to, like in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Our leaders then and rulers, both civilian and military, most of them were in their 30s.
Absolutely.
You talk about Nnamdi Azikiwe,
even in their
Yakubu
20s.
Gowon, exactly, Obafemi Awolowo, and they did so many things in their young age. Now, people that are over 70 do not want to step aside. And when you look at the whole political situation in Nigeria, it's jarring, the amount of control that older people have. So I think that maybe something is about to shift dramatically, fundamentally in this country, and it might be good. To add though, a lot of the young people need mentorship, guidance, holding hand. Because when you leave immediately, there becomes a vacuum. They might think they know everything, but a lot of things they are not aware of. They do not know. And that's why when you look at the EndSARS protest and how it ended, people were so frustrated because they found that all of a sudden, we do not have a voice in this country. We don't even understand what is going on, which is why you see the fire today.
But do you think they've found that voice? And, by way of this sensitization that's going on, and I mean, because there is no evidence, is there, that they're all going to come out and vote on election day, is there?
There isn't. But from the activities that you see, whether it's on social media, whether it's in chat rooms, whether it's on the streets, whether it's in family gatherings, you see the fight between the parents and the young people. People talk about these things. They might not have gotten there, but this is a beginning. And every Nigerian should encourage this beginning. At the end of 2023, at the end of the elections, even if their candidates did not win, it's important that this movement continues, because this movement is of momentous significance for the country going forward. By 2050, we'll be almost 400 million people. Again, a lot of young people. It's an economic asset to the country, which, if properly harnessed, can sort of explode the economic activities in the country. These young people need jobs. They need everything. So there's a lot at stake.
But when you say getting it right this time, and that this is an opportunity which a lot of people would agree with, but I mean, the distribution of votes is going to presumably a lot of the front runners. I mean, there are four sort of front runners, presidential. Let's deal with the presidential, sort of on the presidential level. There are four front runners. I mean, they represent different political parties, and people have different views about how effective each one of them will be. Is the issue about people getting out to vote, or is it the issue about the choice of their candidate in terms of what you're saying?
It's the two. before, from 1999, most times vote didn't count in this country, so there was apathy. Why am I going to vote anyway? They're going to rig the election. But now with the application of technology, it seems like the days of ballot box snatching, intimidating people at the polling booth might be over. It could be that when you vote, your vote actually counts. That's the beginning. Number one, be aware that there is a connection between your vote and what turns out to be the economy that you live in or the country that you live in. And then secondly, of course, begin to look for the credible candidates, which is why these two men talked about, or the second person particularly talked about credibility. Who are you voting for? Begin to ask questions. You yourself, if you think you have what it takes, get into the race. Encourage other people. And then politically, it might be necessary for the country to begin to talk about the cost of elections in this country, because that's a barrier. Older people, politicians have more money to run, elections. Younger people do not have that. It's a discussion that needs to be had so that we can expand the political base, we can expand the political arena for more people to get involved. So you don't have to be a money bag. You don't have to have deep pockets. You're intelligent, you have capacity, you have talent, you know where you're going, you have vision, and you're ready to be mentored. Get in there.
So we've got literally a few weeks to go before the presidential election. What are your concerns?
My concerns are that, number one, a lot of people might not be able to get their voters card, what they call the PVC. There are complaints here and there that it takes time. There are barriers here and there. It's a concern that all of them might not get it. The second thing is there might be disappointments at the poll. We do not know who will win this election. A lot of young people have sort of, put their hope in one candidate. We don't know the results of the election. Whatever be the outcome, it's not going to be the same again in this country. If they continue, even if there are disappointments, continue. It's a long journey. Be ready for the long haul. So the thing is, after the election, if your candidate does not win, will it dissipate? Will the enthusiasm dissipate? If it does, then we're in danger. So those are two major concerns. There are, of course, other things.
That's an important point, but I suppose the pointer here is looking back at the example that you gave of the NSAS protests, because even though a lot of people were frustrated at the end of those protests, but it didn't dissipate. They've now channeled it into politics.
Exactly, which is fantastic. It's an excellent move that they have made. And like I said, there are so many things at stake. People don't have jobs. They really feel crippled. People that do not want to leave the country. There are those that have the opportunity that can leave the country. Not everyone can leave the country. If we cannot, what do we do then? We stay here and do the battle. So I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are hoping that this will continue after the elections. And I want to comment on something the first speaker briefly talked about. He said, ethnicity and religion is bad business and all of that. But there's something we don't mention in this country. Nigeria is a country of many countries. It's like, for instance, putting the Italians, the Germans, the English, the Welsh together. It's not easy. It's complex. So you have to take time to build it as a nation.
Right. Okay.
It's quite complex. So we should bear that in mind as we go forward trying to build a nation.
That's a very good point. Constance, thank you very much indeed. Dr. Constance Ikokwu is a journalist, political affairs commentator, and a Rise News analyst. That's it. Bye-bye.